very neatly to our international press review. James Creedon making his way back to the plateau here. With
Morning, Mark.
With his list of papers.
Yes.
You've been working very hard today, sir. So
working
spill
very
the
hard
beans,
indeed.
So where are we going? Anything on Berlusconi?
We're going to start. I didn't actually cover that this morning, but we'll start with Iran, which is, of course, getting ongoing coverage. And a quick rundown through the papers. The New York Times is saying that these two sides in the dispute are both seeking to carry the banner of Islam. So you've got the Ayatollah Kamenei on Friday crying during his Friday prayers and invoking the name of a disappeared Shiite prophet. Then you've got Mousavi, who's asking people to go up onto the rooftops of their houses and cry Allahu Akbar, God is great. So, you know, both sides trying to kind of invoke God. And in Le Figaro, their website has a story by a 30-year-old guy called Nasser, who indeed goes up on his rooftop at night and shouts Allahu Akbar, death to the dictator. And he says in the shadows he recognises his neighbours echoing those cries. So,
and by the dictator he means,
I think,
the supreme leader,
or it could be indeed
the supreme leader
Khamenei.
Yeah. People in Iran started turning against the supreme leader, which is the big sea change, which is the interesting development.
Well, they're up on their rooftops crying against it. Now, in Libération, David Schneiderman's weekly column in the media is talking about the whole Twitter, the role Twitter has played.
Daniel Schneiderman himself in that cartoon.
There he is, sort of a version of Schneiderman, and he's going back over that incident where a guy in the State Department asked Twitter to push back their maintenance so that Iranians could continue to tweet and I suppose push on the revolution in inverted commas. And he wrote a book, actually. This guy, he's only 27 years old. This civil servant who sent that email, and in that book called Children of Jihad, he said, give the people of, I suppose, this part of the world access to our technological paradise. He was speaking from an American point of view, and ideological, religious and cultural boundaries will fall. So he was pushing forward that sort of personal conviction, I suppose, in the way he behaved, which has been criticised because Obama's meant to be sort of keeping a neutral standpoint in this whole thing. Sure,
the issue being that if the United States backs one against the other, it could actually force the hand either way, couldn't it? And create problems for the future.
Well, he's created a bit of controversy. Now, in the Tehran Times, the front page has a sort of a muted response to all of the goings on in Iran. But on the front page, they're also talking about the withdrawal of Iraqi troops from towns this week.
Can I just stop you for a second? That is, if you consider that front page, when you consider what's going on in Iran, that is phenomenal, isn't it?
It is really. There's an interview with Larijani, who was one of the negotiators for Iran for the nuclear
I don't know.
issue. It's just so muted, isn't it?
How state-controlled can it be? It's absolutely phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the front page of Le Figaro here, they're talking about, that's the contrast of, suppose, 13 dead on Saturday, according to Le Figaro.
It's just absolutely amazing, isn't it?
So there's a very muted response indeed.
Of reporting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, James, I stopped you mid-flow.
Moving on to matters somewhat lighter anyway, the Grand Prix at Silverstone took place yesterday.
Yeah, it's always a great event.
The Daily Mirror was covering that, and Jenson Button fails. He was a British guy, and they point out that Sebastian...
He's the leader of the championships.
He's not just a guy
he's British.
And they say that Sebastian Vettel triumphed, and they point out that a German man won at the nation's former World War II base. So a little bit of jostling and history.
A little bit of jingoism there from the British press. Trust them to dig out a World War II angle.
Silverstone is a former World War II base.
They'd be saying they bombed our chippy next, won't they?
I'm sure the headlines can be found somewhere.
There you go, Mirror Sport. Thank you.
And
hooray for Mirror Sport.
Staying with the Mirror, they've got Max Mosley, who is calling the rebel Formula One fans loonies.
So I've got it. So Vettel's German, and Mosley was, sort of involved with that prostitute scandal wearing Nazi uniform. So there's a link there for the Mirror as well, isn't there? I suppose
they could go to town on this one. I think
that's me speaking, not James. Don't sue James. Sue me. Don't sue me at all. Don't sue me at all. Thank you.
So he's basically saying that these rebel leaders are loonies. The Straits Times then in Singapore, which is looking towards their Grand Prix in September.
Take us to Wimbledon now, because Wimbledon
is great because
we're getting underway today.
You've got grunters every year at Wimbledon and all of these different events. Unbelievable grunting. Maria Sharapova
she grunts,
weighs in at 101 decibels.
Wow,
Serena Williams at 88.9. But the one who's making all of the headlines is 16-year-old Portuguese player Michelle Larcher de Brito, weighing in at 109 decibels.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Just short of the noise a plane makes when taking off, according to the
Who's your
Independent.
favourite grunter, James?
Well, I suppose she is really, if she's making sounds that are that impressive.
Serena Williams is my most entertaining grunter.
Well, she was a very impressive grunter all back through the years. But do you know what they're thinking of doing now? Giving them penalties for excessive grunting.
Oh, that's nonsense, complete nonsense. James,
well, not according to Martina Navratilova, so you might have to take that up with her.
I wouldn't take anything out of Martina Navratilova. I've seen her muscles; they're far bigger than mine.
9 times Men's winner at Wimbledon.
Yes, indeed. We need to leave it there because I'm in big trouble. Thank you very much, James.
Cheers.
James is back tomorrow. I don't know whether I will be after what I've just said, but there you go. Thank you very much, sir. Let's catch it with the main world headlines now.